Fine. So, let's try a slightly different approach this week. I will talk about what I enjoyed most about episode 8, and will leave Arya's deeply flawed adventures in Bravos, the rather unimpressive build-up to the Battle of Meereen, the rather decent King's Landing storyline, and what happened at Riverrun aside. This leaves us with the Hound and the Brotherhood without banners. Why did I like that part best? There are several reasons, but the simplest one is certainly that D&D understands Sandor Clegane and seem to have an actual plan for him. The Hound works so well because his dialogue is well written and because the actor is great. We used to be able to say the same thing about Tyrion. If we contrast these two with one another, we can clearly see what I meant when I said they have a plan for the Hound. It has been blatantly obvious throughout the season that all that's happened in Meereen have been afterthoughts meant to bridge the gap until Daenerys makes it back. Even the best scene from this storyline by far, Tyrion freeing the dragons, has had no meaningful consequences as of yet. We can hope that this will change within the next 2 weeks at least. Tyrion and Varys, two of the best characters of the book and show universe, have been the central characters that the showrunners have deployed here. But neither has been even half as enjoyable as they had been in King's Landing. There has been no real rhyme or reason to the whole thing, no meaningful conflict, no tension. Like, the ships have been destroyed. Fine. Dragons released. Fine, no big deal, and so on. Nothing really seemed to matter, even if it looked good on paper. We all knew all along that Dany would be back, and that there would be a battle. The showrunners have failed to really convince the audience that anything that has happened in Meereen in the meantime will amount to much. Tyrion has been trying to stall out the conflict in the city as much as D&D have stalled out any meaningful developments here. The re-emergence of the Hound has been quite different. Instead of stalling out one location entirely, the Hound storyline has reintroduced the location and two great characters. And things are actually happening, and we have no idea where this is going. Seriously, what was funnier? The Hound telling this guy he's shit at dying, or Tyrion's jokes? Even if the fighting scene was a bit over the top, we see the Hound doing what he does best. Being a badass and being sarcastic while he's at it. And by the way, those guys really deserve to die all over again for that stupid butt joke. I think the show did a good job of not making the Hound meeting Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Myr too cheesy. We should not forget that the last time we saw them, they were in a life and death fight. So, why are they not at each other's throats? For one thing, they all want to execute the same three guys. The fact simultaneously raises the level of respect they have for each other and creates some tension because of the open question who will get to do the killing and how. It works. It's simple and it's effective. As the tension seems to rise, Beric and Thoros prove to be generous and let Sandor kill 2 out of 3. And soon we understand why. They believe they are in the world for a higher purpose, and they believe the Hound is too. They sway the Hound, however, not by fate, but by compliments for his fighting skills. It all works. No inconsistencies here. Even more importantly, probably, we have to wonder where this is going. This brotherhood is not the fatalistic or even nihilistic brotherhood from the books led by Lady Stoneheart, whose sole purpose seems to be revenge. But they are certainly no strangers to revenge either, as we would probably have expected from a reborn Hound. Could they already be a factor in the Battle of the Bastards? It is tough to say. I am sure the Boltons will lose. But there are 3 major possibilities how that might happen. Through desertion by the Small John and others, through Littlefinger's Knights of the Vale, or through the Brotherhood, while we have no idea as of yet how many men Beric and Thoros even have. I'd rather they don't go straight north. The reason is that the show has an opportunity here that they would waste if they were to show up at Winterfell on Sunday. They have the chance to emphasize an important aspect from the books that has been somewhat neglected on the show. The material and moral devastation that war brings to society. We have seen that a bit with Lem Lemoncloak, and the Riverlands are certainly the ideal place for this. What would that mean for the Hound and the Brotherhood? It could mean that they go down a similar road as in the books, just with Sandor Clegane instead of Lady Stoneheart. They might be trying to fight the good fight and take well-deserved revenge time and again, only to get caught up in the complexities of war in which nobody can keep their hands clean. We could be shown how revenge, even the most well-deserved revenge, creates new pain and injustice and is part of a spiral that only knows one direction: downward. The Hound could then be the head of the Brotherhood, being nearly as broken and about as susceptible to revenge as Lady Stoneheart in the books. We have already had our taste of that here and there, by the way. Think of Jon's conversation with Sansa, where he doesn't really want to fight anymore. So the showrunners are certainly aware of the idea. In this world you must choose. Either you choose not to fight and bow to the likes of Ramsay Bolton, or you choose to take up the fight, but once you do, there will be blood on your hands. Innocent blood. Neither of those choices seems very enticing. That wraps it up for this week's episode. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and visit the shit out of our blog.